Hi, let's work on the Happy Easter Wagon Insert from the Rust Covered Cottage by Christina today. I love the beauty of this kit. I used a lot of stains from Paint Couture on it. Their glazes are stains or glazes that can be used to distress or to be used as a stain. So I'm just going to put all my pieces on my sticky board and categorize them by what color I plan to paint them or stain them. And then just to be on the safe side, I decided to pop the bottle of paint or stain on top of the stack of pieces. Going in with Van Dyke Brown first. It's my favorite on some of the upper pieces because these are very, very, very layered. In fact, one piece has up to 4 layers. And then I'm using Amber Honey as my lighter stain on the front plate and the backboard, and then I'm going to water down some mineral acrylic in the color Spanish Sunrise, and I'm using a mop brush just to give a light layer of that. Then I'm going to add some Tuscan Sun and use a fan brush and just brush it over the sunrise, and then I'm going to get that dry and go over it very, very lightly with a little bit of antique gold. This is a Luxe Metallic from Paint Couture, and I needed to kind of get the light on it right to see where I had got the gold. And then I'm going to use a makeup wedge and brush and dab some Angelic over the church and some of the pieces. This is another mineral acrylic from Paint Couture. It's just a really, really, really nice soft white. On the church with the score lines, I'm dabbing off onto my sticky board so that I have just very little paint on my sponge, and then I'm dabbing up and down with no pressure. That way my score lines are not getting filled in. Dried it and then put another layer, and I really, really, really wanted my score lines to be nice and sharp, so I did go ahead and clean them out even though they really didn't need it, just to kind of give it a little more depth there. And then I decided to brush that antique gold Luxe Metallic across the edges of the church, well, not the church, the crosses, sorry. And so I just used my finger for that. It worked really well. And then I'm going to go in with my Debbie's DIY Dark Wax and hit the edges of all the pieces. I use a stenciling brush for that. I have several different sizes. Then I'm going to go over with my favorite top coat, Dead Flat Top Coat from Paint Couture. It takes out all the shine, gives it a super matte finish. Then when I went back to layer up my pieces, I really wanted some more contrast between my two brown stains. So I decided to go over the Van Dyke Brown with black chiffon. And I am kind of brushing that over with a baby wipe and then letting it sit for a few minutes. Actually, it wasn't even a few minutes. Honestly, it was a few seconds. Those little letters wanted to give me a fit, but I made it work. So I'm just brushing that over to give that Van Dyke Brown a little more depth. Now, I do have a layer of the Dead Flat between the 2 layers of stain, so they're not really mixing. I'm essentially, I guess, just staining the Dead Flat. But I wiped it back, and I really like the contrast much better this time. And then I'm just layering all those pieces. There are score lines, so you can see where the pieces should go. It really helps line them up. And then I love using art glitter glue because you can wiggle it around after you press down. It has, a little bit of time to set up, but not much. Like it'll be plenty dry by the time I sit those pieces down. But it does give a little wiggle room as you're adding the pieces. On the church, on that front piece of the church, I decided I needed a little bit more distressing on the edges, and so I added that. But that church is 4 layers thick. It's beautiful. It'll stand on its own. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe.